Morning, folks. This is Corey Babka from the Marks Group, marksgroup.net. My email address is corey@marksgroup.net. If you have any questions, anything we're going over today, please, by all means, let me know, drop me a line, things like that, okay? What we're doing today is going over our tips in our monthly tip webinar. Every month we will post different tips and tricks. Hopefully you're getting those in our newsletter. If not, feel free to visit marksgroup.net. Find our sign up for the newsletter area, and it's right near the contact us side, and go ahead and get on those. You'll get a monthly email of the tips and tricks written out, or emails too, a little summary of each tip, a little link to each one. You can go ahead and click through and see those. And then what we do at the end of every month is, or about 4 weeks later, we will go through these and record them for posterity in our YouTube channel. And we also go through these items ourselves. Okay, so what we're doing today is we are going to cover 3 little items. One is building a custom view in Salesforce. The other would be finding old or inactive reports and dashboards in Salesforce itself. Okay, and then the third one is going to be a little bit harder. That's more of using a process, using a Salesforce process instead of a roll-up field. Now, all 3 of these were written by Becky. I did not write them. She's going to start doing the webinars next month. So I've been posting her tips, which are very, very well done. And then I'm trying to go through and describe those. So if I fumble around that third one, you just got to bear with me, because it's more of the admin level. It's a little bit on the tougher side, but I think you'll get what we're going for. That third one is more of the avoiding a roll-up or using a roll-up field inside of Salesforce itself. But we'll just get to it. So without further ado, let's just jump into the easy one first. So we're going to go into building a custom Salesforce view. Okay, now in the tip itself that we've got, she's going through the classic version. I'm actually on Lightning, so we're going to do a little bit different today. If you notice, I could go to switch to Salesforce Classic, okay? But I'm in Lightning because most of our newer users are on Lightning, don't even know what Classic is. So let's just go through the video this way. That's totally fine, okay? What we end up with is a view, and this one I know like the back of my hand because I do these all the time. Every object you're in, whether a lead or an account or a contact, you have these views up here, okay? And what we're gonna do is we're gonna actually create a new view, which would be under this. It's a little bit different than the classic view. The classic view, it actually says right next to it, there's a link that says create new view. It was nice and easy for us, making it a little bit different now, okay? So we're going to click that new button, which is over here under the gear. This gear, consequently, works for everything in here. You'll notice that my gear is limited in what I've got based on the recently viewed. If I go to all contacts and I do the gear, I get a lot more options, okay? As in, I can clone it, I can rename it, I can share it, edit, all these types of things. This is what we're going to work on right now. But we're going to do a new view, okay? So this new view, we're going to call it, let's go this way. I'm going to create, I have primary contacts right there. I'm going to say, we're going to create a new one called additional contacts. Sorry, I hit the wrong button. See, that's the new button. Sorry, we want new view. Say additional contacts. Got to have a view name there that fills it in automatically. Now, what's different from Classic is the sharing is really picked right away. Okay, so I can say only I can see it, all users, or I share with a specific group. If I do that, I can search for roles. I can also search for roles and subordinates, and I can go from there. Right? I'm going to do just me. Do this. Right away, what we've got is, now what's very different is we've got this thing here that this is just the contacts again. There's nothing new in here. Like, we didn't build the filter. And I'm going to go through this quickly on the classic view just to show you, just to compare and contrast what it looks like, right? And how it kind of works. In this case here, I'm going to filter it, but I don't want to do this. I don't like the owner, okay? I want to do all contacts, okay? And say done. Almost like a report. Like if you're used to reporting, this is always by default in there. I'm going to add the filter, and I'm going to say, not account ID. I want to search for primary contact. Whoops. I can do that. I just actually typed PR and it jumped right down there, and I said not equal to true. Okay, and I say done. Now when I do that and save it, now I will have all my different people, and they're in here. It's a little bit different, right? If I look at this one, Abraham's the first one. Okay, if I go back to my primary contacts only, or I go to all contacts, I'm not going to see Abraham up here. He's right there, but you notice that this is unchecked. Okay, so it's only grabbing these people that are unchecked. Okay, primary and secondary, just so you know, that is more that's me. Okay, that's something I did for my old system because I like to sometimes know who the primary contact is, so I'm not writing everybody to company. That's what that is there. Okay, so that's fine. That's part of it, right? So creating the filter is the first piece, but then the second piece is what columns do we want? And right away it gives me what columns, but I go into this again, and I will say select fields to display, and this is where I have these pieces here, and I can move this out if I don't want this one. Okay, I can do account status, which is a custom field that I have that brings it in, and I say save. And now if you look at that, now we've got account status. Okay, now let's go a little bit into classic view and show how this is done. Okay, classic view is a little bit different. If I go to an account and I do create new view, you have the name, you have the unique name, right? You have this all accounts, my accounts, you have the criterias right here, right? Let's go back to contacts and do it so we can do apples to apples. New view, I would say additional contacts, right? I'm not going to save this because it's going to yell at me because this would be duplicated, right? I would say all contacts, and I would say primary is not equal to, and I would just say true. Okay, and then right here I can move this out, and I can say, you know what, I want to have that account status brought in, and then is it visible to me? And if I save this, we just did the same exact thing real quickly that we did in Lightning. I used to really like this. I mean, this was the way to do it in the old ways, and it was pretty easy. I just walked you through it. Now you make the view, and once the view is made, then you go into it a little bit and you go, okay, I want to have just certain columns, and you can tweak it. If you want to change it, you say the edit the list filters, there it is there. If you want to edit the columns, that's there, right? If you want to do the sharing settings, that's here. Okay, and you notice what we're looking at. It's a little bit different because what we're doing is just creating it, and it's more on the fly. So it's a little more dynamic, which is nice because I can see as I'm going through the steps whether I have the right filters or not. But it does tell me here, sorted by name, filter by contacts, primary contact, and that's what it is there. Okay, and then you can sort it and all that. And that is how you make a view, a custom view in both Lightning and in Classic. Okay, so let's go to another one. I'm totally changing topics here. Okay, we're going to create a report to show which of our reports haven't been used in a while, right? And that is because if I look at all reports or do this, you can see there's a ton of reports. Okay, and maybe I haven't used them, right? You notice that a lot of these are 10.8. Well, let's do something there, right? Let's do a little report. So the thing is, though, is we have to create a custom report because there's no reports out there that report on reports, which is kind of a weird thing to talk about, but that's what it is, right? So if I go to, for instance, if I say a new report and I look for this here and it says report types, see this? There's really nothing in here that says, now it's got other reports, and is it accounts and contacts, is it opportunities, leads, what do we got? And other reports would be in here. And we may actually have one, yeah, there it is, unused reports and dashboards. Now the reason why is because Becky created this in this instance, and that's why we have it. We're gonna create it anywhere. We're just gonna go and do something ourselves. Okay, so the first thing we have to do, though, is if we didn't have that report type, that canister that actually allows us to pull from the different object, you would have to go into setup and create the new custom type. For instance, if you wanted to create a report on some custom object that you built, well, out of the box, you're not going to have a report type for that. So you have to go create a custom report type. You just go into setup. Okay. Lightning opens up in a new tab, and we're going to do report. What I was doing here, and we got report types. And what happens is, ironically, this goes back to the old classic method. Okay, and I say continue, but what it's doing is it's actually asking you, what's the parent, what's the child, how do they interact, what is it, are they left outer joins or inner joins and all that kind of stuff. If you're a database person, you know exactly what that means. Okay, if you're not, might have to Google that a little bit as to why is my data not always showing up when I do this correctly, right? So I say continue, and it asks me, and it says, all right, which one do you want to have? So here, I'm going to do a new custom report type. You can see that we built one here. If I say new custom report type, and I pick the primary object, and in here, I'm going to do something fun like, I'll do like Rollup, Rollup jobs, okay, something like that, right? Right, report type, that's fine. Description, reports on rollups, right? And you store it in the category of others, something like that, like custom ones or administrative reports. And then you have in development or deployed. I don't really know why you would, I mean, if you're a larger set of users, you might do in development so you can get it right, but I'd like to just start with deployed right away. And then when we do all this, now it starts to choose what's the related. And so this is going to be a child object for the rollups. Now there's duplicate record items, for instance. Okay, so that might be in there for the rollups. And then it has this whole join of each A record must have at least one B record, meaning it's got an inner join. And then this one here is different. See how that's this perfect example of a left outer join. If you're ever dealing with database stuff and you're talking about a database guy and he goes, you need a left outer join, this is what it means. Everything shows up in A. Whatever matches shows up from B. And then you say save, and you save that up. Okay, let's go back to the report types again. Report. Show you what we did for Becky. Report types. So with this one, she did. This one here, fine, unused. And if we look at it, it will show you the dashboard components, and she's got a left outer join, A and B, and that's what she did. Okay, reports are the top one, and the dashboard components are the child records, the with or without related records. That's what she did. Okay, and we did that. Now, once you do that, now you can go to the report area and create a new report. And if you go here and say, I want a new report, it's going to say, what kind of type of report do you want? And I can actually search and say unused, right? And there it is. And I say this, and I say continue. And now we start dragging in our columns, okay? So we do this whole, there's the filters that are in here already, right? So this is a little bit different in the reporting schema of a classic report, because the classic report, these filters are displayed right away. So you have to be careful here. But I'm gonna say, show me all reports. I don't want just my reports, okay? Whoops. All reports, boom, and then say done. There it is, all reports, okay. The date field, created date, I'm going to do something here where I say all time, boom, done. And we've got all our reports, right? Now, we haven't done here is we haven't done the filter yet, right? And so we have to go back to the filter. Outline just shows me what columns I want to add in. Okay, because I can add a column, like I could say last modified date or last run and drag that in here, right? If let's see, last run. Okay, now I added it in. Okay, and you can remove it, right? Move left, remove column. See, it used to be a little more drag and drop. I can't do that anymore. I don't think. Maybe I can. There it is. Yeah, a little bit drag and drop. So I can do that. I can expand this a little bit more. We're gonna. I thought I could. Come on. There we go. Just get a little bit more touchy, right? So I do that. There's my last run, all that. Well, let's go back to the filters. Okay, so the filters would be here, and I would say I want to add. Let's see. First I'm going to add the following fields, just following Becky's thing. We did last run, and I'm also going to add in title. which is dashboard title. And there's my column there. Okay. I'm going to sort the report by title ascending. I can do this there. There's my report. Okay. And now I can say run the report, right? And I can say if I run it, which it's already being run, like in Classic, you would run the report. Here you just say it's already being run. That's the power of Lightning reporting, is it shows you your results while you're working on it. It does say here previewing to limited, and it says run the report. There it is, save and run. Yeah, that's fine. I'll save it. And then there's my report. Okay. Now, what we've done is observe, what she's talking about in our tip, is observe the last run date of the report, right there, okay? If the last run date is too old, you can consider removing it. So what we're going to do here is we're going to sort this descending, and then we've got all these dates, and then look at all these. This is what she's talking about for cleanup. So these certain reports here that we don't even need. This is AdWords stuff. Maybe we don't want it all. Maybe you just put them in a different folder, right? Like unused as an unused folder. So we're creating a report here to help us clean up our existing reports. It's a tongue twister, but it's decent. It's a nice way of keeping your data clean. So we do it that way. You've got your report. You can run it anytime you want. You can do it by title. In her tip, she's talking about doing it this way and kind of sorting through and saying, oh, you know what? These haven't been run in a while, so let's get rid of these. Okay, a lot of them are sample reports, as you notice, right? But these are the ones that I've run that are in there. And oh, there's a good one, 2018, 2017. Those are good. But this one right here, 2015, right? So anything lower than that, I like to sort by that date, which you can do it here. You could even group rows. This is where it gets a little bit more. I'm going to do, let's see if I can group it. Sort by record count. Yeah, so you can remove it. You could do the grouping, right? And again, now I just got rid of my grouping, which is bad. So now I have to go back and edit this report. If you add the report, you're back into it. Last run. And we'll put that back in there, right? Now, if we were to do like a grouping type report where you could say the properties are, let's see, I'm trying to look for a group, like add a group. I could do last run here, and I could do it by this. I think I like to be able to do it by group date by, let's do calendar month, right? And you could do it this way and see it. And if we sort those by descending, you're going to see the most up to date. And then you get all these that are older and they've got nothing. So let's go ahead and save and run this. And then look at what you've got. So there's my reports. So we go back to April 2018, March, all that, and then we're back in August or October 2012 when I installed it, and then back here's nothing. So a lot of those things you could hide or show or whatever it would be. Okay, so that's I mean, what would the other way to do it? It might be that we add a filter, right? That we add a filter here that we say, you know what, I want where last run, you know, is greater than or, you know, greater than equal to, and I could pick a date that would be, actually I'm going to do less than, right? Let's get out of here. Sorry, I'm having a problem here. Less than, and let's just go back to 2018. That's bizarre going all the way back there. I say 2018, I say January 1st, and say apply. Now you've got all the older reports. So there's tons of ways that we can do this, but I think you get where the what the point is. Okay, so we're going to save that up and we're going to go. All right, so last tip, rounding out the tip video here, we're going to go to using a process builder for a rollup. So we normally do have rollup fields inside of Salesforce, but you're limited. Anyone that works with rollup fields know that you have to have a strict parent-child relationship. Sometimes it ain't there, right? Sometimes you want to have it. It's, you know, and you're looking for the number of contacts or something like that, and it just isn't there, or the number of opportunities per contact, number of activities per contact. Sometimes it's not there, and you want to create the roll-up. So what you do instead, in this case, we're going to create number of orders for account. Now, if I went and did this normally, I would say, let's go to setup. And we would go to our object manager, which would be the account level. And we'd say, we're going to create a new field. I'm going kind of fast here, but we do a roll-up summary. And I say next, and it's going to be called number of orders, right? And if I do this, I say it's going to be account, summarized object. You see this? I don't have orders as a child record of accounts. Now, there are ways of doing that. Like you can make this strict relationship between account and order, parent-child. And if you do that though, like there's always kind of a weird like fear. I know, at least from my side, like, is that a good idea or not? Okay. And so what we'll do instead is there's an add-on out there called Rollup Helper. I've done a tip on this in the past. It's a great little helper app that it allows you to do things and create custom rollups. It's even free for, I think, 3 rollups, and then after that you have to pay a nominal fee to get a bunch. But it's very useful for things like this. Okay. What we're going to do is something similar. We're going to do instead, we're going to create a number button. Now, in this case here, we're doing the currency. Let me see if Becky already did this. She did, she called it, I think she did, but let's see, she called it currency field, record change. What did she call it? It could be number of orders or order total, orders this year, something like that. That's what I'm looking for. That would be a custom one, obviously. Number of users, contacts. Okay, I don't see it in here, but maybe I'm missing it. I'm looking for the order date. And we update the summary field. Order summary field. Let's see what she's got. Anyone? No, I do not see it. So she might have deleted it, or she did it in a sandbox. Okay, that's fine. So we're going to do a very similar thing here. That's what we'll do. So we're going to create a new field. And this is just a currency, okay, because it's not a roll-up anymore. It's just a currency field is what we're going to do. We're going to build this one out, and we're going to say, we're going to make it a currency length. We're going to call it order summary field, okay, and there's our order summary field, right? Name, description, read only. We want to do it as read only access, okay, but we'll do that in a little bit. Visible to all users, etc., etc. So I give it a name. This is just typical stuff is what we're going to do. Decimal places, I'll say 2, right, and we're all fine. That means the length can only be 16 because we just ate up 2 spaces. Max currency is 18, so you have to be careful. If you do 2 here, this has to work out. Next, see, it has to be less than or equal to 18. I thought I did 16. I did, but my numlock is off, so way to go, Corey. And then I say next. So you saw that error in action, okay? I want it to be read-only, okay, is what it is. And then I want it to be visible to all users, though, okay? And then that's going to be automatically added to everything, and then we're all good, okay? It's actually going to be in the account record. If I go to an account, let's go to ABC Company. I look at it here. If I look at the related or the details, we should see that number, that order summary field is right here, right? We put that in there, and there it is. So we've already added it, okay? So we're back into this. Now we have to create the process. So adding the field is piece of cake. That's nothing, right? And so I'm whipping through this a little bit fast, but just forgive me for that. We're going to go to, when I go to setup, not that, setup, and process. Process builder. Okay. We do process builder here, and we're going to use the tester webinar to show what happens to order status. Yeah, I'm looking here and I do not see it. So we're going to do a new one here, new, and we're going to call this process name I don't really have it, but we're going to say update order. Order. Summary field. Okay, API name already fills in. There's my description. And the process starts when a record changes. Save. Now this is where it gets crazy, right? So we're going to add the object. Okay, and we're going to select, because this is an order. When an order changes, we want to do it here. So we say order record. Okay. And now I can do it when it's created or edited. That's what I'm going to do, right? Because the created or edited, if I was doing just a strict count, like here we're doing a summary of the grand total of amounts or dollar amounts. If I was to do just when it's created, like a pending order, then I would just do creation and that's it, and that's where we go. What we're going to do in our criteria is actually a dollar amount. So I want, if the dollar amount changes, I want to actually update the value. I also want to do it where it will update things if based on certain criteria, like the order is paid, or it goes from pending to invoiced or completed, something along those lines. Okay, and I actually can tell you what Becky did here was, this was for a particular client that needed this done, that they wanted to have the total dollar amount for year to date on an account record based on their orders. So this is a true to life example. So we do that there. That's fine. When it's created, okay. We're going to save that, and then we're going to add the criteria, right? So we've got that there. Now we add the criteria, okay. Criteria name is going to be is order paid, kind of a question mark for you, right? And it's when the formula evaluates to true. I apologize for that. That would be my phone. All right, so formula evaluates to true, okay? So what I do here is I've got this, add criteria. What is our formula going to be? Well, this is where it gets a little bit ugly, okay? So it's is pick val. Normally, like, we have to look for a field. Like, we have to say status, and there is a status there. Okay, we can choose that and put it in there. But the thing is order status is a pick list. Okay, so I have to kind of do a little function here, and it's something like is pick. So I'm kind of cheating here, and I'm just doing this based on what Becky said. And we're going to do something like is pick val open paren order status paid, right? And year of the order date. Let's look for order date. Let's just do date. Let's see, order date, order end date. We don't have an order. We have a what? I guess we could say order start date. That I don't have an order date. So year effective date equals, and then it's year, today, open, close, close. Now this is a little bit weird. What it's looking at is, and I missed my equal sign, didn't I? Okay, so what it's asking is the value of the pick list paid and the year of the effective date equals today's year. Okay, so this is essentially is order paid this year. Let's call it what it is, right? And then we say save. Okay, perfect. And there's our criteria. We got no errors because it's actually working out and it's doing its thing, what we need. Okay, add an action is what we need to do. Okay, so we have to give the action a name. And so we're going to say that it's actually you give the action a name you used to. I don't have it here though, but the action type is actually we're going to update the record. Update records, action name, there it is. And it's going to be called update account, and it's going to be select the record to update. Okay. Now this is where I always get a little bit confused, right? We have to choose the form. We have to put in a formula, and I would say select the order record that started your process, and I say yes, or record related to my order is what it is, and I'll say account, right? And then I say what's the order It's a record. I'm going to say account ID, and it's actually the account record. Actually, I don't even have to do that, I don't think. I don't have to do that. I just say account. Account ID. Right, and I say I'm going to choose that. And so now it says no criteria, just update the records, which is fine, but I have to actually choose what's being updated. Okay, I'm going to update the account. There's the record. I have to find a field for me to update, and it's going to be here that I've actually got in here. It should be order summary field, right? And that's what it is, okay? But in this case here, we're going to, we've got order account ID, this is all good, everything's working well, okay? Formula though, is going to be a formula, and we have to build the formula, okay? Now the formula, I can copy and paste it because I've got it already. I'm going to do this and say boom, sort of field, order total amount, and I save it, okay? Now something is yelling at me. Order total amount. Maybe it's this guy. It's the blank value plus the order amount. So what it's doing is it's taking a blank value of the existing order summary field, which is what we had, okay, which is the one that we did. We created that today. It's actually going to take a blank value of that, and it's going to add in the total amount for this record. And I think I'm missing amount. That's why. Order amount. That's what it is. See that? It's called total amount. That's fine. And I save it, and I don't know why this field is required. I'll use this formula. Sorry, there it is. Okay. And then I save it. And now we've got our function. Okay. And so we run this, click the save, activate it, test the process. Okay, so what's going to happen is I'm going to actually activate this guy. I confirm it. Okay. Now, if I go to and it is running, if I go here and I go to my orders, I'm going to go to my account. We already know this, and I'm going to look for orders. And I'm going to create a new order, and there isn't one, so let's just do a new one real quick. And I will say order start date is today. Status is, well, it's not going to work because of that, folks, and I think you know that already. Order type, that's all good. Shipping street, all these different things. Description, save it. Nothing's required. Search contracts. I don't want a contract number. I don't know why this is in there. But if we were to do all this, and I apologize, and we're running a little long on time, what would happen is my orders will populate this value. Now, what I'm going to follow up with Becky on, though, is that my account record, I should have this order summary field. How do I get it to update what's there already? Okay, so how do I get it to update and add a value to the one that's already in there? So that's what I'm going to look at, is the custom. Now, I don't know if this does it for all. It doesn't, but it shouldn't, but that's what we're going to check. So let me do a follow-up here with this one, and I will let you know. But otherwise, so that's the process builder, that's custom views, and that's some custom reports. I hope this made sense to you today. I hope you enjoyed it. Any questions, whichever you may have, please let me know. Corey@marksgroup.net. You can also just ping us or contact us on the actual blog post. You can put a reply in there, put in your comments, and I get those as well. And I can send those on to Becky or whoever's writing the tips. Hope you enjoy your day. Again, sign up for a newsletter. You get new tips every month, followed by our webinars at the end of every month. Have a great day, folks. Talk to you soon.